Greetings, everyone. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad that you are here. Today's jank, I am affectionately referring to as Crouching Godzilla, Hidden Thragtusk. What on earth are we doing? Well, folks, there's this card that many of you may or may not even be familiar with, may or may not even remember. Lurking Predators. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, you may put that card on the bottom of your library. So, getting this card resolved means we can just generate a ridiculous amount of advantage just by getting a bunch of creatures onto the board, right? So what sorts of creatures are we doing? Well, I'm not going to lie, folks. This deck is centered around getting big, getting beefy, going mid-rangey. This isn't really mono-green beatdown, although we have a relatively solid beatdown plan because we don't have enough early game. You know, we have very few ones and twos. We literally have 4 1s, 4 2s. This is, you know, I can see the writing on the wall right now, folks. We're not going to get going early enough, often, I think. But, darn it, what we are going to do is we're going to resolve some Lurking Predators. I'm telling you we're going to do it. And we're hopefully going to use them to batter our opponents. Well, so what precisely are we going to be pulling off the top of our deck? Well, when it's not our mid-rangey creatures, our 3s, 4s, and 5s, we have some big, more utility-style creatures. First of all, there is a single Kogla. It's our only interaction in the deck. It's true. Yes, folks, this is the greediest deck you've ever seen in your life. That's okay. It's going to be a lot of fun. The other things we can pull off the top are potentially Beanstalk Giants. This is a creature while it's in your deck, but earlier on, it's obviously a ramp spell, getting us up to our Lurking Predators. Similarly, the Titanoth Rex is an 11/11 trample, and you can cycle it in the early game, so as a 2-drop. So technically we have 8 things to do on turn 2. When you cycle it, you put a trample on a counter on something. So in your opening hand, it's not great. We're not excited about that. But more importantly, when it's on the top of your deck, if we get Lurking Predators going, we can just randomly get 11/11 tramples. Yeah. It's also true that we do have a fair amount of ramp here. We have some Beanstalk Giants, Jadelight Rangers to keep hitting our land drops. We also have 4 Kazandu Mammoth, 2 Tangled Florahedron. So actually, in addition to the regular 20 lands, admittedly 20 is low, we are supplementing with 6 of these lands. So we're actually on 26 lands in addition to 4 actual ramp spells. So we're kind of getting there. We also have an Ashaya, just 1, but that does mean we can actually hardcast this 11/11 trample with a certain amount of regularity, right? Because we would then be able to tap our creatures as well. As far as the rest of them, yep, we're trying to get our hidden Godzillas, our hidden Thragtusk, come off the top of our deck and attack our opponent. That said, let's go see if we can pull that off. All right, folks. Here we are. I guess we're gonna hang out of this. We got 3 lands. We also have Llanowar Elves start, which we are going to do. We could have started obviously on a, on a tapped land, and there is some merit to that. But I think just developing our mana, developing our mana here is really, really nice. Primarily because if we do get to 3, we can even develop further this turn. And I think that is kind of where we want to be, right? Oh, crud. Sanctum Weaver. That's not great. All right, well, tapped land, questing beast, attack, go. Pass the turn over to Jacob. They make a boulder roll off pathway for the turn. And Sterling Grove, that's terrifying. And Enchantress's Presence. All right, fine. These things are fine. Well. Okay, well, we're going to do this stuff, I guess. Just trying to get a robust board presence down. It's true they might have some amount of board sweepers and stuff, but Oh, crud. I was going to say, I'm actually more worried about the 9 life Solemnity combo, which... Okay. Oh, never mind. Actually, everything's fine. Forget I said anything. I always knew that this would happen, folks. I always knew. I was not at all worried over nothing. But, so, x equals 2. We're just going to go ahead and attack. And kill our opponent. Why? Might you ask? Well, because if you are also not having a momentary lapse in memory, like I do, one of the many, many lines of text on Questing Beast is combat damage that would be dealt by creatures you control can't be prevented. So the key portion of the combo is that 9 lives prevents the damage, and then counters go on 9 lives. Well, since counters can't go on there, 9 lives just keeps preventing all the damage, and you can't deal damage, right? So the fact that damage cannot be prevented means damage can't be prevented, and they die. So GG, Jacob, GG. All right, folks, here we are, up against Blackjack 07, and yeah, we'll keep this. This is a little bit expensive, considering we've only got 2 lands, but we are starting on the play with Llanowar Elves, so, you know, there aren't too many better places to start. Blackjack, do not kill our Llanowar Elves, please. No bolting the birds. We would really like the birds to stay around, okay? Fervent Champion. No blocks. Oh my goodness. Thank heavens. All right. So it's not a land. It's true. But it does mean that we are now, like... you know, we get to play Magic here, right? And we were a little concerned that if we missed a land drop here or there, and then, like, if we missed a land drop there, and then... we pass the turn back, and they do bolt our bird then, and so we be down to 2 lands and just never really do anything. That would be quite sad indeed. So now, things looking much better. So, Questing Beast, get in. Opponent takes 4 right on the noggin. Actually ahead in the race now, but our opponent is missing land drops, which is a boon. No! I mean... oh, I'm happy for our opponent. Haha. But, you know, I think it would be a fib to not, you know, be honest about the fact I was hoping they would continue to miss land drops there, you know? If they attack with the Runaway Steamkin, we are going to block. If they attack with the Runaway Steamkin, it's almost certain it's a trap. You know, they're gonna... cast another spell and grow the Runaway Steamkin or something, and we'll be trading, but that's fine, right? We would trade. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Holy cow, folks. This is wild. Well, we do need a land now, deck. Just the Chain Whirler. Okay. Okay. Maybe. Our opponent really having a hard time here deciding what to do. Just the Chain Whirler. All right. No blocks. You got it. Down to 14. Well, this is not ideal. Yeah, I guess we're going to do this and just right now eat the Llanowar Elves so that we gain the life. It gets a counter. They can't respond by shocking it or anything like that. Right. The opponent trying to animate the Den of the Bugbear here, but that's not going to work quite the way they wanted. Yeah, that's not what they wanted to do, but we're going to block here and here for sure. Yes, this is not a question mark. And believe it or not, folks, we're also going to just snack, right now. Not going to be attacking with the questing beast or scavenging ooze because we do not want to risk our opponent being able to burn us out just this turn alone, you know? But I think that was absolutely worth it. It would have been really nice to be able to Beanstalk Giant there. It's true. But okay. Yeah, this is kind of what we were a little bit trying to prepare for, which is why we did all those things. And sure enough, our opponent does just pass the turn. Well, we're going to Fertile Footsteps, and folks, things are looking pretty good for us now. Not going to attack, of course, because they have 4 first striking damage, right? The Chain Whirler and the Fervent Champion being held back means that we are now in difficult shape. Opponent going to animate the Den of the Bugbear. Yep. And come in with the team. Indeed. I'm not excited about these things, but we are absolutely going to block and block. Take a whole mess of damage. No question about that. Down to 4. And yeah, Blackjack going to scoop it up. They were absolutely going to scoop it up after we cast a Thragtusk next turn. But we also just had lethal. So yeah, they were in a tough spot, and I'll admit, it is true they could have just held a couple of things back to block there, but that doesn't really lead toward victory either. You know, yeah, we had them. So GG Blackjack, GG. All right, folks. Folks, here we are. We're up against Monog. Good luck, Monog. And yeah, I think we're gonna hang out of this. Looks like a good hand. Gonna start on a Lair of the Hydra into Llanowar Elves. As long as Llanowar Elves survives, I think we would be pretty happy about being able to cast a Jadelight Ranger. We're really looking forward to hopefully being able to cast the Lurking Predators here. So hopefully the game lasts long enough for that to happen, and it can pay us off here. No, Speaker of Heavens. That is a terrifying, terrifying magic card. All right, Jadelight Ranger, come on down. To the graveyard with you. To the library with you. Youthful Valkyrie. Okay. Well, combat. Jadelight Ranger, get in. Yep, try and punish our opponent's life total just a wee bit. And Scavenging Ooze, make an appearance. Alright, Sun Petal Grove comes down. Youthful Valkyrie gets in for 1. Alright. Gonna eat that Jadelight Ranger. And pass turn right on back. Hey, it's a land. Don't mind if we do. Get in for 7. That's a lot of damage. Opponent drops to 9. And Elder Gargaroth make an appearance. What say you, Monog? What say you? Castle Ardenvale into Skyclave Apparition. Going to get our Scavenging Ooze? Does. Do they remember that the Elder Gargaroth has reach? They do! Okay. Alright. That said, folks, we drew a Shifting Ceratops, which is a good one. So we're going to go ahead and activate Haste. And keep attacking with those there creatures. Questing Beast is the draw. When it blocks. 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 Yeah, I mean, we are actually going to kill the Youthful Valkyrie because it can grow into something relatively annoying, and it is an angel. So there are angel synergies, obviously, in the deck. Alright. Yeah, this does technically keep them alive for now. They don't know about the Questing Beast, but... yeah. Gotcha, Monog. Darn it, folks! We had asked for the game to last long enough for Lurking Predators. As it turns out, we were the ones that closed it out too soon. But I suppose I'll take the win. GG, opponent, GG. Alright, folks, here we are, up against Gattuso. Good luck, Gattuso. And yeah, I mean, we're going to keep this. This hand is fine. No lurking predators, but, you know, hopefully we have things to cast on the way up to it. So, Hall of the Storm Giants into Relic of Progenitus. Well, alright, that card isn't very good against us. So we're not too upset about that. Llanowar Elves, come on down. Though, the Hall of the Storm Giants is kind of scary. Gattuso. Goes with Steam Vents tapped, passes the turn, sure. Well, then we're going to Jadelight. Come on down. We get a land, Llanowar to the bin, and pass the turn. Opponent going to exile our Llanowar Elves. Suddenly, I care about the Relic of Progenitus, because I wish I could just send a message to our opponent. We don't care about this. I recognize they would then cash it in and draw a card, but that would be so much better than having to worry about them activating it every stinking turn between now and the end of time. But you do what you do. So we're going to Beanstalk Giant pre-combat. Trying to see if we... Wow, it does resolve. That is interesting. We were trying to bait out a counterspell there. Opponent just lightning helixes. All right, drops to 20. Turn continues to move. Opponent, yeah, oh my gosh. Yep. Everything's fine. Actually... In fairness, no, they're doing the correct thing. I forgot. We do have the Scavenging Oozes. So, as tedious as it is, it's the correct thing for them to do. Doing this one pre-combat, folks, because, of course, this will allow us to pay for some number of soft counters. You know, if there's, like, Quench or something like that, right? But also, obviously, it has haste, so we can attack, right? Gattuso. Takes 5, straight on the noggin. Pass the turn. Archmage's Charm, gonna draw 2 cards. Sure. Almost certainly either has the board sweeper already and was looking for a land, or just trusting their deck. It's a fine thing to do. Yeah. That is not unexpected at all. That's what you expect your deck to do, as a matter of fact. So, Elder Gargaroth, come on down. Yep. It's true, folks. We could have gotten down a Kogla, but it doesn't really do that much other than save us the inconvenience of having to worry about Relic of Progenitus if it survives, because you do destroy an artifact or enchantment when it attacks. But this generates us cards when it attacks, so we would much rather have those. Is this 7/7? It is. Yeah, but it can't be activated yet. All right, so let's attack. And, yeah, actually, all right, let's keep drawing cards. Admittedly, this is one of those matchups where if we get Lurking Predators, it would be very good, right? So we're going to try and draw into that. All right, Scavenging Ooze. Opponent absorbs. Okay. Well, then in that case, we're going to Thragtusk. The good thing about this one is the life doesn't really typically matter in this matchup very often. But it's if they sweep the board, we still leave something behind. We get a 3/3, right? So we can still keep pressuring their life total, even if it's not in a significant way. Opponent thinking about it. Considering. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna do this, folks. Oh, boy. Holy cow. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, this is probably just Torrential Gearhulk then, because they could have held up all the Storm Giants, and things would have been really annoying. But, yeah. Opponent gets to kill the Thragtusk, tap down Elder Gargaroth. Yeah. Yep. I mean, I'm not going to pretend like that's exciting. That is a royal pain. But it's also not the end of the world by any means. So, Kogla. It could be a mistake to do this, folks. I can easily accept that. But I think, in general, we are an underdog to this matchup. So we're going to have some number of things go right. Torrential Gear Hulk is actually an artifact. So whenever Kogla attacks, it doesn't say when it deals damage to an opponent or something. Whenever it attacks, destroy an artifact or enchantment. So when we attack with Kogla, Torrential Gear Hulk goes away. It's true. There are some number of ways this could go wrong, not the least of which maybe our opponent has like 2 lightning helixes or a bounce spell or something like that. But yeah, I was going to say the most likely scenario for them to get out of this particular pickle is they just have a board sweeper, which means it goes away anyway. Oh boy, don't counter me, bro. Please don't counterspell me. Please don't counterspell me. Gattuso is a soulless and corrupt individual. Just absolutely has no heart. And I hate to be this way, but that's not true. That's not true. I'm sure Gattuso is a fine person. They just hurt me personally, so I'm lashing out in pain. Oh my goodness. I really wanted Lurking Predators to resolve against this control deck. Oh my goodness. Please, Lurking Predators again. Oh boy, hold on. Please? Okay. All right. Now, admittedly, we've got to handle the Hall of Storm Giants because they might be able to win without ever casting another spell. Right? All right. Castle Vantress. Sure. Scries. Yeah. Bottom. All right. They are looking for ways of handling Lurking Predators. Okay. Well, fine. Beanstalk Giant is a 9/9. Opponent draws. Does not scry on upkeep. Tap land. Doesn't cycle away the tap land either. Interesting. Combat. We attack. Opponent animates Hall of the Storm Giants. Blocks. Okay. We kill it. Alright, let's Tangled Florahedron then, I guess. We get a Thragtusk. Yes! Alright, folks. They're in top deck mode. We're going for it. Kazandu Mammoth as well. It would have been better for them to wait until our end step. They might have thought that's what that was. Alright, Teferi. We get a Llanowar Elves. That's not exactly amazing, but we are making serious headway here. And just a land. Yes. And we got him! All right. GG, Gattuso. GG. And we are back, folks. We are back. Yeah, it was a blast. I'm not going to lie. I actually had to play quite a few games to get our Lurking Predators onto the battlefield there. We just kept mid-ranging, either to victory or to defeat. But, you know, it was just resolving, you know, some 3s, a couple of 4s, and a 5 or 2, and beating down, like, pretty consistently. And, you know, sometimes that resulted in victory, and sometimes that resulted in defeat. But, you know, we had a good time. That said, I'm a little disappointed. We actually played quite a few games trying to get it to really go off. And we didn't really get to see its potential. We played this deck on stream a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to show it on YouTube because, man, when this thing started going, it was crazy. We actually had more than one game where we were, you know, way behind, get a Lurking Predators down, and then our opponent just has to keep casting spells because they can't not, and then our board just gets completely flooded with gigantic creatures going crazy, doing, you know, crazy things. And we didn't really get to see that, so that's a disappointment. As far as what about this deck, right? Does the Lurking, like, is the deck good enough, first of all? Well, when we played it, we were in the mid-60s% win rate, like a 65% or something. So, I do think it's good enough to play. And, you know, you almost certainly could get to Mythic with it if you were committed. Is the deck better with 4 Lurking Predators or worse? Well, it's probably worse. Similarly, the Titanoth Rexes and stuff, like, this is kind of a luxury thing. I think getting off to a little earlier start would be better, you know, something like that. And maybe even having some more strong 4s. So if we... If we, 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 if maybe went with 2 more 4s and maybe 2 more 2s or something like that, just so that our curve was more round. It would make our lurking predators hits maybe a little less exciting, but probably better. It's also true we probably don't need all 4. Admittedly, they're not legendary, so you can get multiple down on the battlefield. The more the merrier. As a matter of fact, having multiple down is insane, right? But it's also one of those things where, you know, it's also typically superfluous, right? If this resolves and your opponent doesn't kill you the next turn or something, you're probably going to win, right? So I think the emphasis should be there on trying to get 1. So you could probably at least save 1 deck slot and probably rare wild card by only going with 3, maybe even just 2 as a value engine. So similarly, maybe you could go with 2 Lurking Predators and 2 Great Henge, perhaps, because the Great Henge is also just a really, really insanely powerful card that gains you some life in the matchups where that matters, and it can. But it also turns your Llanowar Elves and Tangled Florahedrons and stuff that coming off the top into larger creatures and draw you cards, so they replace themselves. So when your opponent starts, they also work well together. If your opponent starts casting things to Lurking Predators and you have the Henge down, just game over, right? So that could be a possible way. You know, as far as other ways to go about it, you could also just go maybe a little more aggressive, and just not worry about it, and maybe play mono green beats, and that would be fine too. That is a deck that you can definitely get some wins with as well. But, you know, as far as that goes, I think there's something elegant about turning your creature sideways, and we did some of that today, and I had a great time. So, that said, appreciate you tuning in, and you folks have a fantastic evening, and I will catch you next time.